Hey guys, systems of equations practice quiz. Question 3, what is the point of intersection between lines 1 and line 2 shown below? The only difference really with this one is we've gotten a visual associated with the equations. So just to remind you, we're looking for that unknown x and its corresponding unknown y, which will be the same for both equations at that point and that point only. Everywhere else, x's and y's are different as you move along the lines, but they're the same. So really, I mean, the equations are given to us, and so we can go ahead and start working with those. The first step, of course, is we have to isolate y in both equations. So up here, I'll take a second, and I'll just rewrite those equations. Sorry, I'm getting tangled in my own wire here. Okay, so 2y is equal to 3x plus 68 is equation number 1. And I'm just going to take a second and show you equation number 2 also, which is negative 5x plus y minus 6 equals 0. 5x plus y minus 6 equals 0. So the equation on the left, equation number 1, is only going to require that division. So we'll divide everything by 2. And that's going to give me y is equal to 3 divided by 2 is 1.5x plus 34 when you go 68 divided by 2. So your first equation was very easy to isolate. There's the isolated section right there. The second equation has a little more complication. The y's got no division to do, but I've got this negative 6 and this negative 5x. So I'm going to add 5x to both sides first, and that's going to leave me with y minus 6 is equal to 5x, positive on the right, because I undid the negative by adding 5x to both sides, and now I'm going to add 6 to both sides. And that's going to leave me with y is equal to 5x plus 6. There was no coefficient in front of the y, it's already y, so there's no division to do for this one. And now I can go ahead and solve the system. It looks much more complicated than it really is. Step 2, right, is solve x. And so we'll do that right here. 1.5x plus 34 is equal to 5x plus 6. I'm going to subtract the 5x from both sides. And when I go 1.5 minus 5, I'll be left with negative 3.5x plus 34 is equal to 6. I'm now going to subtract the 34. And I'll get negative 3.5x is equal to 6 minus 34, which is negative 28. And then I'm going to divide both sides by the 3.5. Don't forget your negative. And you should be looking for a positive number here. And that makes sense if you think about it for a second. X should be positive. And so x will be equal to negative 28 divided by negative 3.5, leaving me with a nice pretty 8. So that's an 8 there, which means on this point the x is an 8. We still need that y. We can come down to the bottom and put that 8 down there, and thinking about the fact that we still need the y. So to get the y, very easy. We're going to go ahead and solve the y now, and we'll do that by picking one of the two equations and plugging the x that we found, which is 8, into that equation. So I'll take this first one, y is equal to 1.5x plus 34, and I will now put in the 8 where the x used to be, because the x is an 8. So it just says, hey, take that 8, multiply it by 1.5, and add 34, and we'll see what the y is. So 8 times the 1.5 gives you 12, plus 34 gives you 46. So we'll check that y, and we'll check y by looking at the other equation. The other equation was 5x plus 6. Y is equal to 5 times whatever the x was plus 6. So y is equal to 5 times 8 plus 6. Y is equal to 40 plus 6. And you can see that you got the same answer for both of those equations, which means it's guaranteed you've done it right. When the x is 8, the y is 46. And that just means that that location right there is 846. So you've done the system for number 3.